Hello everyone, this is Critic giving you a shoutcast and a game 2 in the series between mouz Morrow and Empire DieStar. Game 2 taking place in the Xel'Naga Caverns. We have Empire DieStar spawning on the south side of the Xel'Naga Caverns. Meanwhile, on the north side, we have mouz Morrow. So Morrow spawning on the north side as the green Zerg. Zerg versus Terran once again. Xel'Naga Caverns only 2 spawning locations, so I am curious as to how these players will be trying to open up. Normally, maps that only have 2 spawning locations generally tend to favor faster play. Yes, this is Go4SC2 Finals number 79. It is currently 1-0 in favor of Morrow right now. So yes, I am casting these games in the correct order. The website that I happened to download these games from happened to place them in the incorrect order, so that made it even more confusing. You see DieStar now setting up a front door with a supply depot here. Most likely will place it down a barracks and then perhaps get another tech lab in order to try to block off this location here. This is a very smart move, as Zerglings are able to run up and into the ramp very easily, and you really want to try to prevent that. A barracks is currently being placed down here. Tech lab most likely will go here. A supply depot either here or here. I've had arguments for both locations. Some like to make sure that there isn't much of a landing area on the top side when roaches and hydralisks get up there, but because the supply depot is more meant to prevent Zerglings from running in, I like to place the supply depot here instead of here, thereby limiting the amount of surface area that the supply depots have in order to get taken down. If you limit the surface areas, that means that only the barracks is exposed a little bit more, and the barracks with its 1,000 hit points can take a lot more damage than, say, a supply depot with only 400. And you can now see the SCVs completely ignoring that drone there as a Marine currently being trained. We do see a refinery currently being placed down, and now a supply depot will be placed down here, and that Marine will be able to perhaps shoot down this drone very easily. Are we going to get a tech lab? We should be getting a tech lab if it can spot out just in time. Oh, there we go. There's that tech lab. No tech lab there, as the drone now trying to push away a second Marine now being trained. So no tech lab. We may be going into a factory, and now that drone wants to almost grow up to be an extractor. Back over here, we now see an SCV wandering around the far side, and we'll be able to see Morrow setting up a hatchery over here. And oh, very interesting, Morrow doesn't see that the bunker is currently being built over here behind his mineral patch. We can now see 2 Marines now making their way out. A drone also trying to move away. As more Marines are still being trained, we can see some drones now being transferred over there, but the drones will not see that anywhere soon. So now 5 drones, 6 drones now making their way in, and that bunker, it will be completed, almost done already. And now you can see that the Marines are trying to make their way, and the drones are already there to intercept them, so that's going to be a problem. The drones now trying to take down more of those Marines. I believe 2 drones have already been taken down. Another drone now taken down, so 2 Marines to trade for 2 drones. There is 1 bunker back over here, and now a fresh Marine gonna perhaps try to make its way into the base. Will it be able to? No, there's already a Zergling underway. The drones are gonna be able to perhaps get some pathing into there. Will the Marine make it inside? Will it run? Will it run? No, getting surrounded, trying to run inside, and no, down it goes. DieStar being very fortunate to be able to salvage that bunker. And the bunker rush has failed. Morrow now with 1 spine crawler here on that front door should be able to fight this off. And now finally a scouting SCV coming in, taking a good look around. No extractor down. So with no extractor, the metabolic boost is at least 2 minutes away from being completed. We now see double Hellions being trained out, and another command center being placed down. So very nice play by DieStar. DieStar, I believe the moment he salvaged that bunker, was already building this command center here, thinking about the next step in the game. Zerglings now trying to activate that Xel'Naga watchtower, will get toasted. Back over here, 1 Zergling a little bit too far away from the Xel'Naga watchtower to really do anything there. And now Hellions not realizing, oh, no hatchery down here, maybe try to come around that backside to put some pressure, and now currently a spine crawler being built. So spine crawlers and queens already in position. Drones doing a preemptive retreat, knowing that they do not like to be taken out to a drone barbecue. And now those Hellions backing off once again. Morrow being forced to play off of 1 base right now. He does have the second hatchery, but he doesn't want to try to run up those ramps right now. There are a lot of units blocking its path, and now those drones will just be able to clean up some of those Zerglings, and that is essentially it. 1 Marine was able to get some damage onto an Overlord. We now see additional barracks being placed down, and at some point DieStar needs to change up his strategy. Perhaps get a little bit of a stronger economy going, more tech going. We now finally see an orbital command being lifted off and being relocated, as we also see a lot of drones being trained up here. Taking a look at the unit combinations, 37 drones for Morrow, DieStar sitting at 26, so 26 versus 37, and now with this orbital command in the air, without able to mine off of any of these mineral patches, it will be a little bit of time before DieStar catches up in the economic game. It does look about even, or a little bit even ahead, but you got to remember that he's only mining off of one gas right now. Hellions trying to test the waters, trying to deal some damage over here, and oh, the spine crawler unrooted at just the wrong time, allowing those Hellions to get some damage, and now perhaps trying to get some damage onto some of those Zerglings, and now just moving back and forth. The Spinecrawler will be able to start impaling a little bit more of those Hellions, and one Hellion will be able to escape with 15 hit points and run all the way home. And DieStar does have his second orbital command up at a new set of mineral patches now, and will be able to start mining, calling down mules in just a moment. You can see Overlords hiding out over here as we are now teching into a spire, but it is quickly scanner sweeped by DieStar. DieStar will know that he needs to get up perhaps an armory, some missile turrets up, in order to shoo away many of those Mutalisks that will be coming into play. It will be running all off of 4 gas, so 4 gas Mutalisks means that you can train about 4 to 5 Mutalisks every minute. And that is a significant number of Mutalisks to really try to deal with. In come those, in comes the Queen trying to get some damage, able to get some damage off, and now that Queen backing off, knowing that it doesn't want to try to engage against those Hellions. The Hellions quickly taking down that extractor and making it so that he can at least not mine from one of the gas here, limiting the number of Mutalisks that he will be facing in a moment. That will need to be reestablished and rebuilt. Once again, the Hellions just wandering around, getting a lot of map control and map presence. A couple Marines now on the move. I do not see... No, Stim Pack is nearing completion. Level 1 weapons upgrade. Siege tanks, Siege Tech, double engineering bays were built. So yeah, 1 engineering bay here, 1 engineering bay here. And now as these units are on the move, perhaps they will be able to start knocking on the front door and trying to push and deal damage. We should be seeing, yes, Mutalisks now in their cocoons ready to hatch. And with that, 5 Mutalisks will be in the air. It could have been 6, except Morrow did lose this 1 extractor to DieStar earlier, and that will at least help him out a little bit in the game. SCV is now coming off the mineral line in order to repair more of those Hellions. Hellions pretty much trying to own the game so far, unable to do so, as a lot of spine crawlers and queens with a decent creep, or a semi-decent creep spread at the main bases so far. Mutalisk now moving out, venturing forward against a very, very potent Marine army. There are going to be a couple of early Hellions that scout out that Zergling there. It will get taken down. The Mutalisk quickly trying to run in, or fly in, and finding themselves going up against some of those Marines there. And now down over here, 1 Marine activating, or not activating, sitting at an expansion, making sure that Morrow does not take up a 3rd base. And now Morrow may be in a little bit of trouble. If he doesn't take up a 3rd base, his macro will be behind, as Zerg players generally want to be up on bases compared to their opponent. We now see those Hellions now pushing through, and now the Zerglings completely ignoring this, trying to take down these destructible rocks, not knowing that the Siege Tank is over here. Siege Tank with Siege Tech already moving out, and now the Medivacs, oh, drones and Marines not going to get some damage in over here, quickly trying to take down this Queen. Queen does take a lot of damage already. Zerglings now trying to swarm in. Mutalisk as well. Marines quickly using that Stim Pack in a very nice tight choke point there. Marines are going to be able to shoot down many of those Mutalisk, and the Siege Tank is still in play. The Mutalisk need to focus down that Siege Tank, and now this Spine Crawler taking a beating from that Siege Tank as well. That Siege Tank already up to 8 kills. Will be able to finish off this Spine Crawler unless it uproots down to 37 hit points. And yeah, we're going to reestablish itself once again. Queen's now trying to come in. The Marines could easily take down this Spine Crawler. Mutalisk trying to come back in. Marines are very close by, ready to shoot, and now put some pressure down, and now pulling back once again. Zerglings now trying to finish this off, and now drones coming in as well. Marines using that stutter step in order to try to get some distance, but it looks like this attack has pretty much been neutralized by Morrow, but a lot of damage has been dealt. A lot of drones were taken down over here. Morrow now down to 50 drones compared to the 55 SCVs, and 2 mules for DieStar. So DieStar definitely ahead at this stage. He is establishing another command center here, getting more barracks down, going to continue with this infantry push as he is now researching the level 1 armor upgrades for those Marines. One siege tank as well there, just to make sure that if there are any banelings, at least some of them will explode before they get into this group of Marines. And now in come the Marines. Marines trying to chase after those medevacs, unable to do so as those chase after those Mutalisks, unable to do so as Marines are slower than Mutalisks even with that stim pack. More medevacs on the move. 4 medevacs, 5 medevacs now in the air, more siege tanks and Marines still being added. So this is going to become a very, very impressive tank Marine army. One tank a little bit too gung-ho. The tank driver not paying attention, falling asleep on the gas pedal, running straight into a group of Mutalisks there. Scanner sweep quickly revealing some of those creep tumors, trying to deny this very, very effective creep spread that we've seen already. How fast those banelings and zerglings move on creep is very, very potent and deadly, especially against Marines, as they do take additional damage. Siege tank a little bit out of position, but a group of Marines quickly taking their drugs, making sure to be able to protect that tank there. And once again, siege tanks in the front, Marines now trying to push out. Once again, how much damage will get done? More scout sweep coming in, and the Marines now going after that spine crawler, very low on hit points. And now Morrow setting up for a flank. You can see it already on the minimap. Mutalisk going to be coming in from the right. Zerglings may be coming in from the north. And now in come the Mutalisk already. Marines already stimming in. Zerglings now trying to swarm in, and now the Marines getting into a very, very nice pocket there. But they are going to be able to get just torn apart as those Zerglings were able to surround, and the Mutalisks were able to get a lot of damage. Another medevac is going to get shot down, and now it looks like Morrow in a very, very impressive lead right now. Zerglings once again swarming in. Vikings trying to fight back as well, using that stutter step. Those Marines are only upgraded 1-1, unable to really fight back effectively. More Marines just continue to just try to push. There are no missile turrets nearby. SCVs coming off the mineral line, trying to save, trying to salvage this fight, but I don't believe it's possible. Mutalisk in the air, just swarming and dealing so much damage. There are a couple Marines on the ground, but when you have equal Marines as you have Mutalisk, that is never a good indicator for the Marines. The Marines are now just getting taken down one at a time. There are a lot of Marines being trained off of those reactors, and finally the reinforcing Marines were able to push back the last of those Mutalisks. Mutalisks are upgraded 2-0, and it looks as though Morrow now trying to establish another expansion here. And perhaps getting another hatchery, being able to build off another base will allow him to replenish his forces much more quickly. 2,050 mineral army compared to 1,300. Taking a look at the harvester count though, you can see that DieStar with his third base already up is going to have a significant mineral lead, and he can replace his army much more quickly. Every minute that this game goes, you're going to see that DieStar is mining about 1,000 minerals more, and that is a very, very large number. In comes a Zergling, and the Zergling saw exactly what it didn't want to see: a planetary fortress at that low ground expansion, and protected by 3 missile turrets. And that means that Mutalisk and Zerglings, the current unit combinations of Morrow, will quickly fall if they try to put any pressure onto that base. Weapons upgrade, level 2 upgrades will be on the way. You see an armory currently being built, so Thor's and level 2 weapons upgrade for the infantry could be coming in within the near future. Stim on those Marines. Marines now trying to spread apart, but there are no banelings in that group, just trying to use that stutter step and trying to get some distance, and nicely done using that stutter step in order to get more damage, taking down many of those Zerglings before those Zerglings were able to get a decent surround. Once the Zerglings surround though, the Marines' days are pretty much numbered. Zerglings now continuing to move around, gathering over here. We can see the hatchery nearing completion. The gold mineral patch will be completed in just a moment, in addition to this low ground expansion. Siege tanks, Marines, and Marauders. Siege tanks, Marines, and Marauders, and once again on the move, and moving out very slowly. The tanks and the Marines were able to clear out this expansion already. Missile turrets and a sensor tower now being established. Mutalisks are in the air, offering some additional air support, but the army of DieStar quickly has been replenished back up to 3,150 compared to 3,000. Morrow does have a much stronger gas army, so he does have a higher tech army, but it is going to be difficult for him, as those Marines are going to be able to counter those Zerglings and those Mutalisks very, very easily. Marines now stimming in, trying to get some more damage production-wise. Level 2 infantry upgrades and level 2 armor upgrades in addition to a Thor. So 8 Marines and a Thor now being trained. Broodlings trying to chase after as they were spawned by that hatchery. and now that hatchery, meaning that the bases are pretty much even. Once again, Marines and Marauders stimming in, trying to take down that hatchery. And perhaps you should be going after the drones instead. Now finally going after the drones, but it's going to be too little too late, as the army is going to get quickly surrounded by those Zerglings, those insect-light Zerglings, able to just swarm a location and just tear apart those Marines. Siege tank now trying to pull back. Level 2 weapons upgrade should be coming online in the next minute or so, but will it matter in this fight? Mutalisk is in the air, just trying to go after the rest of those Marines. A mass Marine army, a very, very large group of Marines. Yeah, almost 2 full control groups. 24, about 40 food in Marines. Mutalisk still trying to wander around the map. Many of them are low on hit points. They do have the level 2 weapons upgrade, but the level 2 armor armor upgrades will be coming online in just a second, in addition to the level 2 weapons upgrades. So these Marines are going to be able to push out very, very easily. Marines now trying to stim, trying to catch up. It looks like this hatchery may get shot down once again. Marines now on the move, perhaps into the space here, may be able to take down this hatchery. Mutalisk now trying to get a decent flank, but with those stores in play, Marines are going to be able to deal so much damage, and Morrow, realizing that that is the game, says GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this game between Morrow and DieStar here in the Xel'Naga Caverns. This is game 2 in a best of 5 series, and the series is now tied at 1 apiece. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.